Hi guys, it's Kyne. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you how I styled this hair right here. I've done a tutorial similar. I have like a double stacked brown wig that I sometimes wear. That's pretty much a very similar technique, but this is only one wig. So I'm going to show you guys how exactly I did this. It's sort of like this little lion's mane of a hairstyle. I don't know, I really like it, and it's so versatile and so fast. I did it in like 3 hours. I could probably do it in 2 if I wasn't filming, but I'm going to show you guys exactly how it's done. So keep on watching. Alright guys, so today we're going to be curling this wig right here. I've had it for a while. I don't really wear red that often, so I haven't used it in a long time, but I straightened it and brushed it all out, which is how you want to start. If you're working with a new wig that's curly, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that there's no knots or tangles in it, so that when you put it into the curl pattern, it is nice and smooth. So all you need for this style, and it's really easy you guys, is these little bendy perm rods. I just got these off of Amazon. You can get a pack of like 10 for a couple bucks. I've got my brush right here, and I'm starting in the front, and I'm gonna section off a pretty wide horizontal section of hair, just like this. And starting at the top, I take the ends and kind of just wrap them around this, and then I'll just roll it on down so that it hides the ends. Sometimes if the ends are kind of knotted up, it looks bad and frizzy at the end, so you want to make sure they're nice and tightly wrapped inside. Then when it gets to the base, since these are bendy, you can kind of just use the bend to secure them in place. But what I like to do just for extra security is take a little pearl pin and push it in there so it doesn't move. Now what I just did is very similar to what I did for the double stacked brown wig that I have, which I also have a tutorial on. I also use these same perm rods for that hairstyle. The difference for this video is we're just going to be working with one wig, and I'm going to show you guys how you can sort of tease it up and style it to give yourself volume and height with just one wig. So I'm going to just wrap the rest of the hair in these perm rods. And the great thing about this is that since the style is so kind of just tussled and messy, they don't really need to be neat. You can choose if you want to do all horizontal sections. You can make them all vertical sections, whatever is like easiest for you to stay organized. So I'm taking our next section and then just brushing it. As you can see, I take my sections to be maybe about like this wide, nothing less than that, since it would just waste these, but nothing longer than that, because I like to have these ends kind of folded inwards, and I don't want to be overwhelmed with having so much hair. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to the entire head of hair now, which I'm going to do as a time lapse. As you might have noticed while I was doing it, like they stay in place with or without these little pins in them. I mean, a little security never hurt anyone, so I just put them in anyways. In my last tutorial using these perm rods, what I did was I would take all of these pins out and just let the little rods stabilize themselves and dip the entire thing in boiling water. But here, I'm just going to show you how you can also do the same exact thing with a steamer. So we've got our steamer heating up over here. And if your steamer is anything like mine, I don't know if they even sell this anymore. This thing is so old, you guys. But I can actually take off the top part of it because we don't need to be steaming like something flat like clothes. I'm just gonna use this and then put this under a bag. What this bag does is it takes all of the steam and it concentrates it right around the wig. I don't have to worry about like focusing on each little thing, going around it. I just let this whole thing do its work and I go watch Netflix, do something else. While we're waiting for this, do you guys love my shirt? I saw this fabric at the store and I decided I never make like boy clothes. Everything I sew, I swear, is like dance costumes with like sequins and like showing so much skin, and I don't have any normal like everyday clothes. So I decided to try making a little basic t-shirt. I swear this is not even like a t-shirt fabric, like it doesn't even stretch. That's why I had to make this neckline so big in order to fit my head through, because like this does not stretch and it's not really a t-shirt type fabric, but it was nice. The thing is, there's so many basic t-shirt tutorials out there, so like if you wanted to know how to make this, look something else up. And if you hear that sound, it's the sound of water dripping because of the condensation happening on this bag. So that's normal. It's nice to have a little towel or something on the floor. I do not recommend sticking your hand under this bag and feeling the hair, even though I might have done that in a couple of videos because it gets really hot in here. I don't know how much time that was. I wasn't even really counting. I'd say maybe 3 minutes. So I'm gonna turn this off. Now, what I usually do in my videos, the way I always tell people to do, is just let this sit overnight. But today I'm going to show you a different way to dry this that only takes about 5-10 minutes, and it's just using a blow dryer. Before I go in with this, I'm going to kind of let this steam sit here for like 5 minutes. So give it 5 minutes, go do something else, go touch yourself. You'll see even if I like move this bag, a bunch of steam escapes. So just let that really sit there, and then in 5 minutes we'll go in with this thing.
A few moments later.
Alright, I'm back. So without even taking this thing off, this guy is still dripping wet from all the condensation. I'm gonna put the blow dryer in. Now, I get some questions about whether you can substitute the steamer for just the blow dryer and use this to set the curls. No, I wouldn't do that. The whole point of the steamer is the wet heat, and the blow dryer is dry heat. The point of this is not to set the curls. That's what the steamer did. The only point of this is to dry off the water. But the heat from the blow dryer also does kind of help to almost reinforce the curls and make them stronger, as opposed to just totally air drying it in room temperature. So that's one advantage of using a blow dryer on top of just the speed of it all. Now you'll also notice I only have my blow dry here at the bottom of the bag, where the wig is up here. Think of it as blow drying your real hair. You don't get that close to your real hair. You do it from at least like a foot away. All right, so that was probably 4 or 5 minutes. So I can feel she's all dry. So we can start taking these out. Now, when taking down the curls, like in videos, I feel like I kind of just gloss over it, like, oh, take out all the rollers. There really is a little bit of finesse to it, especially for something like this with such tight curls. It's very easy for it to just totally get frizzy. So what I usually do is I go in and I kind of like fan it out, and I'll pick it out strand by strand. And I like to sort of loop it around my finger to re-curl it almost, because I don't want it to just totally frizz up. I want all the curls to still be nice. See, because like just by brushing through it with your fingers, like it doesn't really give it that nice volume as it does when you really separate it strand by strand. Ah, beautiful. I think one of my biggest mistakes when I was first getting into like hairstyling was that I would always get so overwhelmed by the sheer volume of all the hair. So I would neglect to really take care of each individual strand. I think old me might have just taken a brush to this entire thing. If I did that, this entire thing would just poof up and get all frizzy. So it does take longer to really finesse each little strand, but I think the final effect is worth it, because instead of seeing just a bunch of frizz, you see all these nice individual curl patterns. And with that being said, when it comes to like the upkeep for a style like this, you don't want to take a brush through it. If anything, you can just take the end of your brush and kind of like go through it like that and pick at it. Don't be using the fine teeth. Alright, so we've so far been taking down the rollers from bottom to top, and now that I'm sort of about halfway up top, I'm going to start doing a little bit of light backcombing to the hair. So you can see we can already get so much volume without any teasing at all, but we can also get lots of height with some teasing. So like I said, you don't want to use too much of the brush or comb because it can really frizz up the hair. So I'm not going to do so much teasing that I need to like do this whole smoothing out afterwards. I really only am gonna lightly backcomb at the roots just to give it a little bit of lift from the scalp. So I'll take that little horizontal section of hair again. Then with my brush, I'm just gonna backcomb from I need to zoom you guys out. From about here, and then just go down. The goal is not to create tangles and rattiness. The goal should be to create a little cloud of hair, just like this. And then, since I did it on the bottom, I don't need to smooth it out. I just lay that hair back down. I'm not brushing through it. Just like that. And I'm gonna do that for pretty much the rest of the sections. If you're finding it hard, check if maybe you're just doing back and forth motions. You should sort of be doing a circular motion, and then notice how I'm gonna like sweep out like that. That's very exaggerated, obviously, but it's sort of a circular like wave that goes into it. Again, you don't want to do too much since we don't want to have to bother smoothing all of that out. You kind of want to take smaller sections than maybe you were putting into the rollers. You really want it to be thin in order to take advantage of it. It's better to have many, many small tease sections than to try to take one big section and try to tease that. Now, if you have a section of hair that if by any chance you feel like you've teased a little bit too much and it's too ratty, if you have to brush it, kind of go in at a flicking motion so the brush isn't going through the entire strand. It's just kind of flicking at that ratted section. And then, again, go through it with your hands to clean it up. See, the way we want to end up by doing it back to front is with everything like 90% done, this nice and tall, and all that's left is these 3 front sections that we're just gonna blend into the rest of the wig. So I'll start off here. So I'm teasing again at the back of it, going from about like 1/3 of the way up and pushing right down, creating that cloud, and then sort of blending it. And then the front should be nice and soft. If it isn't, just do it a little light flick. The teasing should help it sort of stay up and swoop back. But if it doesn't, just strengthen it a little bit more right at the base. There we go. And over here. All right, now all we have is this last section, which I always think is the most important because it's right in the center of the face. Don't feel too much pressure though. So now I can take this section. Again, I'm gonna split it in half lengthwise and then back comb the backs of it, blending it into the hair that's behind it. And here, just like that. All right, and then what I like to do, I'll take some just alligator clips, and then I clip all of this hair back as if we were Beyonce and the wind was just blowing in our faces, and you want all of the hair out of the face. Just like this. 2 here, 2 here, just so that all the hair right on the hairline is really swooped up. Then you're gonna take your trusty blow dry again and some hairspray. After that hairspray, I can actually take these out. The reason why is I don't like to keep them in that long because if you put in the hair dryer with these still in, sometimes they can leave a little imprint, which is not cute. You really just need the clips for the very beginning to hold it in place, and then you can take them out while you use this to really lock it. Alright guys, this is the finished look. I hope you liked it and learned something cool today. It's really a very versatile style because, you know, you could like pin one side over and then you have it just over the shoulder. You could put it into a mohawk. You could do a part with it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments what you want to see from me next if you like this one, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!